Okay, in this video we're going to look at just how to set up the russet server. I'm going to be showing you how to connect VS Code to it. You don't have to use VS Code if you don't want to. The advantage of using VS Code is that it's once you save a file, it automatically uploads to the server. So that's entirely your choice. If you don't want to do that, you can just skip over the part that talks about that. The other part of this will, of course, be showing you the russet server, how to get to where your file is, how to set that up, and also to do a little bit of database stuff you have to do. So to get started, what I'd recommend you do is create a folder somewhere on your computer. I have a folder here on my computer called CPS276. I suggest you create a folder called CPS276. Put it wherever you want. Inside that folder, you want to have the extracted folder called PHP MySQL Test. Okay, this folder right here. You can get the zip copy from Blackboard where this video's shown, but I want you to extract it and put that inside your folder right here. The other one here for assignments, you don't really need to do anything with this, but I'm just showing you that this is how your assignment should be. So you have an assignments folder, and then there you have assignment 1 and assignment 2. Okay, so that's your assignments folder. A lot of students ask, how do I set that up? This is what I would do. But for right now, all we're going to be doing is talking about this right here. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to actually connect this to Russet, which is actually, again, really simple. So if you open up VS Code and you do File, Open Folder, and if you go to where that folder is located, so I'll go to where mine's located, and it's right here, CPS276, and you just do Select Folder, and there's your assignments and your PHP MySQL test. They're sitting right there, okay? Now, what you want to do is you want to be able to take this and be able to get this onto the russet server. To do that, you need an extension. And you go into this extensions right here, and if you enter SFTP, you're going to get a list of extensions that you can use. And the one that you want is this one right here. It looks like it's by Nazi Skunk or something like that. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but this is the one you want to use. This is the one I tested. It works out really well. Now, I already have that installed. So I can go back up here to my Explorer, and all I need to do is just kind of click outside of this box, or you can stay in it, doesn't really matter. And you do Control, Shift, and P. And then you want to start writing SFTP, and you should get up with something like SFTP config, like that. Just click on that. And it's going to create this folder called .vscode, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to put in this information right here, this SFTP JSON file. So here is the contents of the SFTP JSON file. And right at the bat, you can probably lose these last two lines here. You don't really need those. And just make sure to delete that comma. And then, of course, don't make the mistake I did and delete curly brackets. So you should basically have this information right here. And then to fill it in right here, and you want to put in russet server, or whatever, the name doesn't matter. But the host does. It's no longer going to be an IP address. It's going to be russet.wccnet.edu, just like you see right here. SFTP will be the same. Port 22 will be the same. The username will no longer be root. It's going to be your username that you have with your WCC account. So like on your email, like my email is sshaper@wccnet.edu. Well, then that sshaper is my username. Everyone's is unique. So grab your Washtenaw username. That's what you're going to need here. Now, this remote path is a little tricky well, it's not really tricky. It's just a little different to find out. So let me show you how to do this. So what you need to do is open up, say, your PowerShell like we did before. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll log out so I can show you the whole process. All right. So if I'm sitting here, what I want to do is I want to write SSH, my username for Washtenaw, must be my Washtenaw username, at russet.wccnet.edu. Okay, no more IP address. It's just russet.wccnet.edu. You click enter. Now it may ask you something in here about, do you want to have the, I think they call it the finger identification, whatever. Just click yes or enter yes, and then hit the enter button. That's all you gotta do. And then for your password, this is very important. It's your WCC password, the one you use for your WCC email, the one you use for Blackboard. That's the one you have to use here, okay? So you go ahead and enter that. Remember, it's all case sensitive. And once you get into there, basically it's going to take you to what's known as your home directory. So shaper at russet, and that's my home directory. So if you enter the command pwd and click enter, so if you type pwd, click enter, you're going to get this path right here. And you want to basically, you want to copy that. So just highlight it like this, and I just do Control C to copy it. Go back over to your VS Code, and I'll write the whole thing for you. So I'll just erase this. And you paste that in. That's going to give you your server remote path right there. And the only thing you want to add to that is /public_HTML. Public_HTML is the folder that we're going to be putting all our files, folders and files in that we want to be seen through the browser. And yours is going to be, usually it's the first 2 characters of your username. So mine's SS, and so it's usually under home, S, and then S, and then shaper. But don't try to look for it. Just do the PWD trick, and it's going to show you what that directory is. And then just add public_HTML. You must have this, or nothing's going to be seen from the browser. And it's not going to work. So once you've done that, go ahead and save that file. You already have the MySQL PHP MySQL tests folder right here. Okay, and what you need to do is right-click and click Upload Folder, and then you put in your password, and it'll take a few seconds to be there. Now I jump over to PowerShell, and what we need to do is we need to see if it's there. So if I do ls-l, sure enough, my public_HTML directory was created for me because that was the path that I put in on my VS Code. So that was automatically done. And then if I go into that, so if I go cd public, so cd is for change directory, public_HTML, and then another ls-l, you can see sure enough there's my PHP MySQL test. So that's all working. Now the only thing that we have left to do is we just have to add our database information. That's all we have to do. Now, if you downloaded the PHP MySQL test folder from where this video is located, then it's already been updated for you. But if you haven't, there's one thing that you have to update. Okay, go into PHP MySQL test, click on SQL right here, click Create SQL, and you see where it has these lines, these 3 lines right here, drop database, create database, use PHP MySQL test. If those are there, just delete them and make create table be the very first line. Go ahead and save that file, and it will automatically upload it to the server and put it in the right spot. If not, you can always just right-click and upload it here. Okay. Okay, so back over into your PowerShell here, what we want to do is we want to go to where that file is. And so you just go cd for change directory, enter PHP MySQL test, and then the SQL folder. And when we do that, it's going to put us into our SQL folder. And if you do ls-l here, you can see there's the create SQL file right there. Now, if you want to check it real quick, one thing that you can do is you can go cat create SQL and just make sure that you don't have those 3 lines above there. Remember I told you to take out? It should look just something like this. Okay, so I'm going to go bottom of my screen. I'm going to write clear, and that just takes me to the top, makes it a little easier to read. Now to put this into MySQL is actually very easy, because right now if you want to access your MySQL database, you just do MySQL, hit enter, and that's it. And it's going to say MariaDB. It's because we're technically using a MariaDB instead of a MySQL database. Don't worry about it. All the SQL commands, everything's the same. Okay, so that's how easy it is. Once you do that, it automatically takes you in. Now, one thing you need to understand, if I do show databases, just so you understand what's happening, you no longer have the ability to create databases or anything like that. You're probably going to have an information schema one. Leave that alone. You should have another database in there that's going to be your WCC username. I don't think you're going to have a test_DB, but you might. If you do, just ignore it. So you can see that when it puts it in these brackets, it's basically saying you're already using this one. So you don't even need to write use or anything. It automatically puts you into this one. Now what I found is you don't have the capability to add new databases. That's what I found. Okay, so you can't create another one. But that's okay. You don't need to. Just put some tables into this one is all I need to do. To do that, to add the table that you need here, it's really simple to do. So I'm going to do CLAR, clear my screen again. Now you just do MySQL. You do a less than arrow, and then the create SQL file. That's all you need to do right there. And if you do that, it just did it. It just took whatever was in this file, it created that table and populated it. So now what you do is we can log into our database again, and we can do show tables, and sure enough, there it is. Okay, that's the table that we just did. If you want to check everything, you could just do select star from customer. Oh. And there's the information right there. Okay. Now, to get out of the database, you just enter the word exit, and that takes you out of it. Okay, so let me clear my screen. And you can see I'm back at my russet right here. All right. Now, what we have to do, one more thing that we need to change, and it's right here under classes, DB connection. And it's this file right here. Now, what we need to do is we need to change this information. And the way you get that information is, because basically what you need is this password. Now, I have mine gloomed out on you right now, but that's where you're going to enter your password. So what you do is you come over to here and do ls-la. And when you do that, let me get in. Sorry, you need to get in the home directory first. Okay, to get to the home directory, you go cd tilde, and then do ls-la, and you're going to see a file here called .mycnf right there. If you go cat.my.cnf, just like that, there is your all your database stuff, including your password, which is right there. Okay, I have mine gloomed out, but that's what you'll see because you must have a password. So when you go over here, all you do is you just put that information here. So your host is going to be localhost. Your database name will be your username because there's only one database. And your database user is going to be your username as well. And then the password is going to be whatever password they gave you. Once you do that information right there, and you upload that file to the server, okay, so again, once you save it, it should upload automatically. You can always right-click and do upload. Once you've done all those steps, you go to the browser. Here's how you can access that information. I did it, and I'll take this way so you can see it again. You go russet.wccnet.edu / shaper, or whatever you're using. So yours won't be shaper. Yours is going to be your username. And then PHP MySQL test. And that's where you're going to be. You should see that screen. You see that screen right there? That means you've got everything set up. Everything's set up correctly. If you don't have that screen, if you're having error problems, and you need to go back through this video and walk through the steps again, okay, and make sure you got everything working, or you're going to come to me in my office hours and I can help get you through it.